2008 will be an impressive year for video games. There's a long list of highly anticipated games set to be released, and we couldn't be more excited. It's also a year of big blockbuster sequels, but a few new original titles are still making a splash. So today we're taking a look at our pick of the top 10 games that will blow everyone away in 2018. And trust me, it was a difficult list to compile. There's a lot to get hyped for. Let's jump in. And at number 10 is Days Gone. Days Gone has been a long time coming. It began official production in 2015 with developer SIE Bend Studio using the Unreal Engine 4. It's an action-adventure survival horror, where you play nomadic Deacon St. John, an ex-bounty hunter, in a post-apocalyptic open world filled with zombie-esque creatures. Fans have noted the similar grim tone the game seems to share with The Last of Us in terms of environment and mechanics, and of course some serious The Walking Dead vibes. So when is it released? Well, there hasn't been an announcement yet, aside from the speculation that it will be sometime in 2018. So here's hoping this one actually comes out. And at number 9 is Detroit Become Human. We got a further glimpse into the world of Detroit Become Human at the Paris Games Week recently. The neo-noir thriller surrounds 3 androids, all of whom can survive or die depending on the choices the player makes. Developed by Quantum Dream and directed by David Cage, the man who brought us Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls, Cage has said that much of what Detroit is built on is influenced by his previous work, but, I quote, "in a very, very different way." Similar to our last number, the game has no set release date, although it was confirmed at 2017's E3 conference that it would be released in 2018. Up next, number 8 is A Way Out. From oppressed androids to oppressive confinements, our next game, A Way Out, is set in prison. For the most part, that is. It's a co-op game about breaking out. Strictly requiring 2 players, the game is played in split screen, as you and a friend explore the prison and beyond. This extends to cutscenes too. If one player is in a cutscene, the other can still control theirs if they are not. Creator Joseph Fares has stated that he wanted to, I quote, "make a game that pushed the boundaries on how to tell stories without compromising gameplay." The game is set to be released in early 2018. Up next, number 7 is Monster Hunter World. The 5th title in the Monster Hunter franchise, World has a similar premise. You're a hunter tasked by the Research Commission to hunt down and kill or capture monsters. There's a handful of additions and departures in terms of mechanics that World has over previous games in the franchise. But most importantly, the game features the ability to play online in 4-player co-op quests. There's also larger maps than previous games and seamless transitions between zones on the maps. Monster Hunter World will be released in January of 2018, and if you're a PlayStation Plus member, a demo of the game will be available for the PS4 in December. And our number 6 spot is Anthem. An online multiplayer action RPG, Anthem puts you in the boots of a freelancer, one of those courageous enough to depart from civilization to explore the dangerous world beyond, all while wearing a fully customizable exosuit called a Javelin. Set to be released in late 2018, we got to see some gameplay featuring 2 classes of javelins, all at E3 this year, and developer BioWare expects it will be releasing new content and updates after the game's release, for what they predicted will be, I quote, "the start of maybe a 10-year journey." Up next, number 5 is Far Cry 5. The 11th installment and 5th main title in the Far Cry franchise, Far Cry 5 gives us another open world game on this list. Compared to previous games in the series, this installment lets players create their own character and customize their appearance. Set in the fictional Hope County, a preacher named Joseph Seed has started a militaristic doomsday cult called Eden's Gate. Your character is the sheriff's deputy, who is part of a task force sent to arrest Seed. There's even a buddy system called Guns for Hire that lets you convince locals to become your companion. And even a Fangs for Hire, which extends that offer to the tamed wildlife. And a dog! Far Cry 5 will be released on February 27th in 2018. In our number 4 spot is SpiderMan. Another long-awaited game on our list, Insomniac Games' SpiderMan is supposed to do for Spidey what Rocksteady did for Batman in the Arkham games. And the gameplay seems to share a few similar mechanics to the DC characters games, but more polished. Fans will get to explore an open-world modern-day New York City that features a ton of environmental combat, quick-time events, and a whole lot of stealth. Mary Jane Watson is also a playable character too, but this is no regurgitated comic story. Expect a brand new tale for Peter Parker. This story exists outside of what's already canon for Spider-Man in the comics and MCU, but will feature many of the aspects of the character we all know and love, but with a slightly older 23-year-old Peter Parker under the mask. The game is set to be released in the first half of 2018. And our number 3 spot is God of War. In a departure from the God of War titles that we're used to, this game, set to release in early 2018, is a soft reboot of the franchise, now dabbling in the world of Norse mythology. Oh, and Kratos is a dad now. and has a stellar beard. Your son is now your companion throughout the game, with his presence having an impact on the combat mechanics, with one button being devoted to the boy on your controller. He participates in your battles and can act as a distraction for weaker enemies, while Kratos, who now wields a magical battle axe, takes on the tougher stuff. The game will introduce more RPG-based elements, like crafting and skill points, with an over-the-shoulder free camera perspective. Up next in our number 2 spot is Red Dead Redemption 2. It should be no surprise that Red Dead 2 makes it into our top 3 on this list. It's been one of the most highly anticipated games for a long while, with fans in the past eagerly awaiting news or confirmation of a sequel since the first game was released. But this one is a prequel, taking place before the events of the first, with a protagonist named Arthur Morgan, an outlaw and member of the Vanderlyn gang. A leak back in August suggested that there may be multiple protagonists, similar to Rockstar's other recent hit GTA 5. Rockstar did announce though that the game will have an online multiplayer component, so get hyped about that. The game will be released in spring 2018, which was pushed back from its initial 2017 launch date. And finally, in our number 1 spot is The Last of Us Part 2. With the recent trailer that dropped at Paris Games Week that featured brand new and diverse characters, people are freaking out about the sequel to one of the best games this decade. The Last of Us revolutionized so much of what we consider to be 5-star gaming these days, so it should come as no surprise that people have been hungry for news concerning the sequel. But fret not, both Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson will reprise their roles as Joel and Ellie, and the 4 characters introduced in the Paris Games Week trailer are said to be an integral part to the duo's next journey. The game is set to be released sometime between the end of 2018, or as painful as this may sound, early 2019. Fingers crossed the latter won't be the case. Alright, there we have it. Which of these games are you the most excited to play? Let us know in those comments below. And hey, if you dug this video, please hit those like and subscribe buttons. We'd love if you guys stuck around. We've got a ton of other fun videos on our channel too, like the top 10 scariest gun moments in video games, or the top 10 video games that were inspired by real events. Check them out. In the meantime, thanks for watching. I've been Kelly Pally and this is Top 10 Gaming. I'll catch you all in the next one.